Thanks for tuning in to this month's episode of the Benton School District Podcast, a look at the world of the Benton Zephyrs. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Benton School District Podcast, the first ever Benton School District Podcast, and if things don't go well, the only ever Benton School District Podcast. My name is Kyle Kern. I am the K-12 physical education and health teacher in Benton, going on my 10th year, finishing up my 10th year. I'm also the social media guy. So our social media you can find at Benton Zephyrs. We made it really easy for you. You can go to Instagram.com/Benton Zephyrs, Facebook.com/Benton Zephyrs, Twitter.com/Benton Zephyrs, YouTube.com/Benton Zephyrs. You get in the hint? It's very easy to find us, so come find us. I always recommend that if you follow us on, or if you have multiple platforms on your phone or on your computer, follow us on any of them. So if you have Facebook and Instagram, follow us on both because we don't always post the same things on both of them. A lot of the stuff is the same stuff, but we do post some different things on each one as well. So follow us on them all. You can also find our website, benton.k12.wi.us, with all the updated information, including our calendar, which I'm going to get to, is very messy at the moment. So here's my plan for this podcast. I want to give this a shot, something I've always wanted to do. If things go well, in a couple episodes, I'd like to hand this off to some students to be the host and let them try it out because I think it's a cool idea, but I don't know if people are going to be interested in it or not. I want to release one on the first of every month just to start it out, which is good because going into summer, there won't be as much going on. So we'll be able to just churn out a couple episodes before the next school year starts. I'm going to start off by going through a review of the month of April and a little bit of March. What happened in our school, things like that. Then we're going to go away. We're going to listen to an interview with a current Benton student. Then we're going to come back. We're going to go through the month of May, what to expect, what to look for. And then we're going to go and listen to an interview with a Benton alum. So I'm going to keep things moving fast because I don't want this to be 45 minutes long. I want it to be short and sweet. One of the interviews is 14 some minutes long or something like that. So we got to get moving. So we're going to talk about the month of April here in Benton. And like I said, a little bit of March. And March and April were crazy. We expect those spring sports to kick off. They start practice in March, and they start to get some meets and some games in. We're talking track and field, baseball, softball. And then Mother Nature just not cooperating through March and April. And these poor student athletes, they've been practicing indoors. Try practicing track and field, baseball, and softball indoors for weeks at a time. It's not fun. So they're finally starting to get some games in here. I'm recording this towards the end of April to be released on May 1st, but they're finally starting to get some games, and Mother Nature's starting to turn around a little bit on us, so that's good. Shout out to Jeff Dressler, our athletic director, for all the extra work he's been doing, postponing and rescheduling all these games. It's just been terrible. So great job by our student athletes, though, as they've been, keeping their chins up and trying their best. So we also had some great performances at some other things, not athletics related. We had state forensics. We had 4 students compete at state forensics. We had Sydney Mowry, who's a freshman, and Caitlin Richardson, who's also a freshman. They both went to DeForest High School and competed at the state forensics meet in person. Sydney did a piece on the Challenger explosion, which happened in 1986. Sydney's a high school freshman, so you can do the math. She was born way after that happened, so it was pretty impressive that she was able to remember all those dates, names, all that stuff. Something that she definitely wasn't around for, and she did a great job with that. Caitlin Richardson, she did a presentation on how to make strawberry freezer jam. And again, they both won silver medals at the state meet. So that's awesome. Great job to them. Then we had Hannah Martinson, who's a sophomore, and Anna Richardson, who's a junior. They teamed up and they actually sent in a video of their performance. And I'll get to more about why they did that later. And they sent their video in together. Theirs was about children's books and things like that. It was really well done. I have the video. I don't know if I'm allowed to play it or not or release it. So I'll have to ask them. Anyways, they finished with a bronze. So great job to them. We had a craft fair here in town, which went really well. Mrs. Boardman, our science teacher and NHS, National Honor Society leader, put that on along with the National Honor Society students. They did a great job. There was a lot of vendors, a lot of people coming into our town and seeing how cool of a town Benton is, and seeing how awesome our school is. So great job to them. Going back to March a little bit, we actually had a school play. First one in a couple years in person. Miss Toomey Adams, our English teacher, and the students that performed in that did an amazing job. They did And Then There Were None, which is based on an Agatha Christie play. It was very well done, very well received, good turnout for the crowd, so great job. Again, we have that filmed. We don't know if we have the rights to release that. There's a lot of copyright things with that, so we'll figure that out and see if we can post that on our YouTube channel. So We had some other things that happened. We had the Platteville Children's Choir. They came and performed for our K through 8 students. We had one student who was a part of that choir. She's a third grader named Felicity. She did an awesome job with that. That was a very cool performance. It was School Library Month. Thank you to Mrs. Dressler, our school librarian, who does an awesome job in the library. She's a great person to have around for our students. The students really like to talk to her, and she's just really great with the students. So great job, Mrs. Dressler. Thanks for all you do. We had our junior high lock-in. For those of you that went to Benton, you may have participated in a junior high lock-in as well. What happens there is the students in 7th and 8th grade get to come spend the night in the school, and they get to do pretty much anything they want. Well, not anything they want. We open the gym doors up. We open all the equipment up. They bring in some TVs, and we play some video games. We have board games. It's a fun night. There's lots of snacks, pizza, stuff like that. And it's just a good bonding experience for the kids. We had that. It was a success. NHS kids help out with that, and then a couple teachers rotate in and out through the night as well. So great night there. A couple other things we had. So talking about athletics, there haven't been a lot of them. We did have a track meet, the state indoor track meet, which was we had a couple Benton students compete. Hannah Martinson and Anna Richardson, I mentioned that they sent in a tape for state forensics. One of the reasons they did that was because they were both competing at that meet on the same day as state forensics. So, and they did a great job. And then Casey Martinson, Benton senior, she won the mile at the state indoor meet. That's the second time she won that race. She won as a freshman and as a senior, and then it didn't happen her sophomore and junior year because of COVID. And then speaking of Casey, we found out that she is going to be the 6th ever Benton student athlete to receive the WIAA Scholar Athlete Award, which is the most prestigious award in Wisconsin high school athletics. Every year, the WIAA chooses 32 student athletes across the state to be scholar athletes, 16 males, 16 females, and Casey is one of those 16 females. It is a very difficult award to get. You have to be very good academically and you have to have had a lot of success in athletics. So great job to her. There's a ceremony that's going to be happening on the day that this comes out, May 1st, where she will be getting that official recognition. So great job. She is, like I said, our 6th student athlete to ever receive the award. The first one was in 1989, and it was to our current superintendent, Todd Bastian. Second one was to Deborah Rundy, who I believe they said is Deborah Kleppe now. Then we had Jordan Hendricks, Michael Dressler, and then Emma Lawrence, and that gives us 5, and now Casey is 6. Which is also the most in the entire Six Rivers West. So great job to Benton. It's quite an honor to be a scholar athlete. So great job, Casey. And then finally, one of the last things that happened here in April, we passed our referendum again. So thank you again to the town of Benton, the village of Benton, all those New Diggins, Leadmine, all those places that get to vote for our school. We much appreciate your support. Every time we have to pass a referendum, which is about every 4 years, it's just awesome to see the support that these towns and villages give to our school. So thank you very much to that. So we're going to move on. Got through that in about 8 minutes. I'm very happy with that. So let's just keep it moving. The first one we're going to listen to here is an interview that I did with Jackson Klang. Jackson's a senior here in Benton, about to graduate. So I'm not going to do any more introductions on that. I'm going to let the interview speak for itself. We covered a lot of stuff. So here's Jackson Klang. Alrighty, I am here with Jackson Klang, a senior here in Benton, and he's one of the first classes ever that doesn't get a week off before graduation. They get to graduate on the last day of school for everybody, so I'm sure he's really thrilled about that. But Jackson, graduation's coming up. Are you excited about that?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, and you're the valedictorian, which is one of the reasons I'm talking to you. Congratulations on that. That's an honor for sure.
Thank you.
So after school here, what are your plans?
I plan on attending the University of Whitewater and major in accounting.
Okay, what drew you to accounting?
It was my junior year, and I took Intro to Business and Accounting 1 and 2, and accounting was really fun. I was hoping for more homework.
Yeah. That's a rare one, that's for sure. That's a good sign that you'd like the field, though. And how about Whitewater? What made you like Whitewater so much?
They have a good accounting program.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difficult one, so I just, want to challenge myself
Sure.
and be the best I can.
Yeah, that is a very good accounting school there. So on top of all that, Jackson here is a 3-sport athlete here in Benton. So valedictorian 3-sport athlete. He was a cross-country runner for all 4 years, basketball player for all 4 years, and track and field athlete. Still competing as a senior here at track and field. So when you talk about doing 3 sports, Jackson, what's the biggest challenge for that?
I'd say managing time and putting in the extra effort to be the best at the sport while also maintaining a high standard for academics.
Yeah. So you get back from cross country season's over, and you get about a week maybe before basketball starts, and then after basketball season's over, you get maybe a week before track and field starts. So do you ever get to enjoy a little break, or is it always just go, go, go?
I'm in the go, go, go mode. You know, if you slow down, then I don't want to lose that momentum. So I don't mind doing the extra training. You know, it just helps me become better. And
sure. And nobody's going to get hurt feelings on this next one, but what was your favorite sport that you did throughout school here?
Oh, it's a tough one. It's between cross country and track. I feel like I did better in cross, but I also love the variety in track and all the different events.
Track and field and cross country are both similar in a lot of ways, obviously with the running, but also just the supportive way that the meets are. That's for sure. People seem to get along from even other schools and stuff. So it's a cool environment. If you've never been to state track, for people that are listening, state track's a very cool event. So is state cross country. So, and then as you're wrapping up here, I should go back and mention that you were also in the school play. We had one in-person one. Yeah. Did we have another one when you were a freshman?
Yeah, we had my freshman year was in person. Then we lost my sophomore one to COVID. We did a little movie for my junior, and then we had one just.
And that movie one was a Shakespeare one, and it's on the Benton School District YouTube page. You can find it there if you want to go watch it. It's up there to watch. But yeah, the first year was, which play was that one?
Arsenic and Old Lace.
And you were in that one, right?
Yep, main character.
Yeah, and then this year we did. Oh my gosh, the name's escaping me already.
This year's?
Yeah.
And then there were none by Agatha Christie.
By Agatha Christie, and there's pictures of that on our website and things like that, and we do have a video of it. I don't know if we're allowed to release it or not. There's a lot of copyright things, but what was the most difficult part about the school play for you?
Just putting in all the extra effort on top of academics and athletics to memorize lines and get down the blocking. Yeah, and for those of you that don't know, usually when you're in a school play, you go and you're out for athletics, you go to your athletic practice first, and then you come to play practice immediately after that. So you're here from 7:45 in the morning until probably 9 or 10 o'clock at night a lot of nights, and it's a long day and it's a lot of commitment. So, and leaving Benton here in the next month or so, well, you're not leaving Benton, you'll always be around for sure, but you're going off to school and all that, and are you nervous about it at all or anything like that? Yeah, I definitely am. It's a lot of there's a lot of money involved, and just being away from home for the first time, it'll be jarring. Yep.
And you always come back on the weekends and visit and stuff like that. But yeah, it's a different thing. And how do you think Benton's prepared you for your next step here? You think you're ready to go, or?
I think I am. I think Benton's really pushed me to strive to work hard in all aspects of my life, and just persevere through the hardships.
Yeah. So. Alrighty, I think we're going to wrap up there, but thanks again, Jackson, and congratulations on graduating and being valedictorian and all of your success everywhere else. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. I hope you enjoyed that interview with Jackson Klang, Benton Senior, about to graduate. Thanks again to Jackson for all of his dedication through the years and also for being our first ever guest on the Benton School District Podcast. And like I said, maybe might be one of our only guests. We only have 2 on this episode, and if this doesn't just go over well, they'll be our only 2 ever. So we're going to preview May really quick. May is going to be a little bit busy, and then we're going to go listen to an interview with a Benton alum. And then we're out of here. So thanks again for tuning in. But anyways, so May coming up here. We've got a busy schedule. And like I said, you can always go to our website, benton.k12.wi.us, or made it easy again for you. Go to bentonzephyrs.com and you can find our athletic schedule, which is more up to date. That's the actual website that the athletic directors use to schedule everything. So everything's pretty up to date in there with all the postponements and things like that. So I always recommend that, bentonzephyrs.com. So anyways, here we go. Month of May. Lots of makeup sports. I'm not going to go through each one of those. We've also got some other sports happening. Trap shooting. A lot of you that aren't in the area anymore might be surprised to hear that we have a trap shooting team, and it's a very successful trap shooting team. Our coaches do an awesome job with that, and trap shooting is a very fast-growing sport. They meet every Sunday outside of town here at the Isaac Walton League and compete, and then they record their results in the statewide database. And then in June, they get to go compete at the state trap shooting meet, which is in Rome, Wisconsin. It's a very cool event. I've actually attended it a couple times. It's awesome. So, and like I said, we got a lot of athletic stuff going on. I'm not going to go through each one. We've got regional and sectional baseball, softball, and track will be happening at the end of the month. I know state track is right at the beginning of June. State baseball and softball is a little bit more towards like June 10th-ish, around there. So that's all coming up. We've got other crazy things, lots of field trips, elementary students going on field trips all over the place, lots of high school and junior high field trips as well. So just a lot of things going on. We've got trips like Mr. Dressler takes a group of kids to Apple Canyon, is going fishing. So, and they're going golfing actually this year too, a little bit. So that'll be fun. Really cool trips. And we have a lot of volunteers that come help out at those trips. So thanks to those people that do that as well. Prom, May 7th, it's coming up here pretty quick. They're actually going to decorate today on the day that this podcast comes out, which is May 1st. And then they're going to be having prom May 7th. So, the theme is like, I can't remember the theme off the top, man. It's like rustic something or something like that. So I'm not the big prom guy here. So, and then May 11th, senior trip. They're going to Chicago this year. They're going to do a lot of different things. They're going to Giordano's to eat some pizza. They're going to whatever the top of the Sears. It's not the Sears Tower anymore. It was the Sears Tower when I was a kid. Then it was like the Wills Tower or something. I don't know what it's called anymore. They're going to the top of that tower. They're going to do a Segway tour of downtown Chicago. And they're going on a boat ride. It's supposed to be a really cool boat ride. So, senior trip, May 11th. So that'll be fun. We have Fine Arts Night coming up. Let me find that on the calendar here. I got to find everything. So Fine Arts Night is going to be the 18th, which is a Wednesday, starting at 6 o'clock. People can come into the school. They can check out some of the work that our students have done in art class and other classes that they may make some sweet projects in or something like that. And then at 7, I believe, there's going to be a concert in the gym where the 5 through 8 band is going to be performing with Mr. Jacobson, our band director, and then the pep band will also be performing. So that is Wednesday the 18th. And then on the 20th, doing something a little different, we do have a pre-K through 6th grade spring concert, but we're going to do it at 2 p.m. on a Friday. That is the 20th of May at 2 p.m. We won't live stream that, but we will record it. So I won't live stream it on our YouTube page, but it will be available very quickly after it's done. The only reason I won't live stream it is because sometimes with little kids, something could go wrong. They could be embarrassed, and if there's a chance that I need to edit something out, I'd like to have that chance to edit something out rather than have it going out live. So that's why it won't be live, but we will have it videotaped, and it'll be up rather quickly as long as we don't have to edit anything out. And I don't anticipate having to edit anything out, but you just never know. So other than that, like I said, a lot of things going on, but it's just a lot of field trips, a lot of sports. Go to our website, check out the calendar, and figure that out. And then the grand finale of it all, May 27th, Friday, is the last day for students. And as I said in the interview with Jackson, this is probably one of the first and only years that the seniors graduate on the last day of school for everybody. They don't get that nice little week off like like a normal year. And that's just how the calendar fell this year. But so graduation is going to be the 27th, which is that Friday, last day for students, and graduation will start 7:30 p.m. Don't necessarily plan on live streaming that. If you think we should, you can shoot me an email at socialmedia@benton.k12.wi.us, and maybe you can convince me. So we'll see. And then, I did miss a couple things. We've got junior high awards night on the 24th. That's Tuesday. And then they have a dance afterwards. And that's just like our 8th grade promotion, but we also have some 7th grade awards and even some 6th grade awards in there as well. And then the high school awards night is the 25th, I believe, which is Wednesday, the 25th. And I could be wrong on that. If I am, I'll put a correction in the post when I post this up. But I'm pretty sure it's 25th. That's not actually on our website now, so I need to make a note of that. Okay. But yeah, so that's May. May's very jam-packed, but should go pretty fast. And so, yeah, anyways, here we go. Going on to our last bit here for this month's episode. I sat down with Kyle Pulvermacher, who graduated a couple years ago, 2016. Kyle has a great story to tell. He's done a lot since he graduated from Benton. If you are a Benton alum and you'd like to maybe be a guest or an interview, if you've done some pretty cool stuff since graduating from Benton, I'd love to hear from you. We can sit down and talk, or we can talk over the phone, and loop you into the podcast maybe. So I'd love to hear some interesting stories. If that's you, there's a form on our school website. If you go to our school website, benton.k12.wi.us, and you hover over the community tab, you'll see a thing called Zephyr's Forever nomination form. If you submit your information there, I will read it and get back to you. And I'm always looking for people that are interested in being on the podcast, or you can just email us again at social media at benton.k12.wi.us. So without further ado, I'm going to send it off to the interview with Kyle Pulvermacher. Again, this is the last segment, so thanks again for joining us. And hopefully people like this. If not, no big deal. And if they do like it, we'll be back next month for another episode. So thanks again. Have a great month of May. Okay, I am here joined by a Benton alumni, Kyle Pulvermacher. Kyle was a student here. What year did you graduate?
2016.
2016. And Kyle and I wanted Kyle here for the first one because he's somebody that I'm very familiar with. When he was a freshman, it was my first year here in Benton. He was on the football team, and I coached him there. And then he was also a track athlete, and I coached him in those events as well. And most of his events, he was also a sprinter too, but I coached him in the throws. So wanted somebody that I knew, pretty well and was familiar with for the first one. And Kyle's also had what I would call a lot of success for somebody fresh out of high school. 2016 is still pretty fresh, Kyle. I know it doesn't feel like that sometimes, but it is. So when you graduated from Benton, where'd you go after that?
So I actually graduated from Benton in 2016 and started that fall at UW La Crosse. I went back there to get my undergrad in exercise and sports science.
And what drew you to La Crosse?
Just the area. The area is gorgeous with the river, the bluffs. It's definitely a college town.
Mm-hmm.
And then just that program, I kind of strictly went to La Crosse to go to school for what I wanted to go to school for, and that was the best one there. So.
And you did some athletics there as well when you were there?
Yeah, I did. I actually did track and field for 4-ish years when I was in college there. I was a thrower there, track, disc, hammer, shot put.
Yeah. What was your favorite event when you were throwing in college?
Discus.
Discus?
Yeah.
Because some people go and throw if you guys don't know, the hammer throw is just a crazy event. So some people go off to college and they find the hammer throw and it's like, holy cow. But yeah.
So yeah, the meter-long wire on it and spinning around is pretty impressive.
So you got to UW La Crosse, you went for sports and exercise science, and then you've graduated with that program.
Correct.
And then you pursued a master's degree, or?
So I graduated in fall of 2020. So the last half of my last semester was COVID year, lost my outdoor season in track and field, and then we lost school. Obviously, everything shut down. And then I finished my internship in August of 2020 and graduated that same year. I also was in the ROTC program on campus at UWL, and then finished that the same month and commissioned on the August 2020 as a second lieutenant in the Army National Guard. So.
Yeah. And it's another thing I wanted to talk about is how you joined the National Guard. And if you don't know the Pulvermacher family, they're about as American as you can get when you talk about it, because both of his parents were in the military, correct?
Yeah.
And his dad was just recently promoted to a very high up position. I believe it's general. What's the actual?
Brigadier General.
Brigadier General in the National Guard, and then he's also got a couple other brothers in the National Guard who have served and done deployments, and then you're actually just back right now on a little break from a deployment.
Yeah, I had to come back for some medical things.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll get back there here in the next few weeks.
And where were you deployed to?
We were in Kuwait.
Kuwait.
So based out of there, and everything else we would leave from there. So.
Yeah. And what's your like main job in the National Guard?
So my job in the National Guard is I'm a platoon leader in a tank platoon. So in a tank platoon, there's 4 tanks, and each tank has 4 crew members. So in a platoon, we have 16 people. And I lead all 16 of those or 15, including myself.
Awesome. And then obviously again, La Crosse, National Guard, and then also you in your college career actually started a business with another classmate, correct?
Yeah.
Benton graduate.
Yeah. So my buddy Joel, who was in my class with me, we actually went and bought a supplement store from someone down the road in Fenimore. He had a store up in La Crosse, and we actually made an offer between my sophomore and junior year of college, and Joel came up and lived with me, and him and I ran the store together, and now he's kind of taking it off on his own and kind of been killing it with that. So
yeah, so pretty ambitious though. It's pretty impressive. I think back to it when I remember you coming back one year and just saying, "Oh yeah, Joel and I are starting a supplement or buying a supplement business," and I was like, "Wow, that's pretty impressive for a couple sophomores or a couple guys that have just been out of high school for a couple years." So that's really cool.
I think for us it was pretty lucky because we fell into the opportunity.
Right. Well, it was somebody that you knew for a while,
and it was already set up.
Yeah.
Like we pretty much fell in on like all the products, the store.
Right.
Like we were just had to transition in us owning it.
Yeah.
And he owned the store but didn't operate the store, so that's why it was struggling. And he thought if we put an owner in there who was actually in the store, they would do a better job. And it definitely has grown significantly since we've taken it over.
Yeah, so that's just, I mean, like I said, pretty crazy. So you got all these things that you did as soon as you graduated from high school, 2016. You've done that in 8 years, basically. Mm-hmm. So what were some things that happened here in Benton that really helped prepare you for that?
Definitely like the teachers that I went through school when I was in elementary school. A lot of them are gone now, but like Mrs. Mowry.
Retired.
Yeah, I know. I say gone, it sounds bad.
Yeah.
They're all on to bigger, better things, retirement.
Yep.
Mrs. Mowry is my kindergarten teacher.
Yep.
Mrs. Nice, Mrs. Cisco, Mrs. Bambridge,
Mrs.
Packett, Mrs. Herps, Mrs. Woodworth, all the way up until middle school.
It's like the 19, I don't know baseball that well, but like 1918 Yankees or something like that. Just like an all-star lineup. Yeah. So,
no, they're awesome. They said and my class struggled all the way to high school.
I remember Mrs. Mowry talking about that, like when you guys were like juniors and seniors, and she'd be like, you wouldn't believe how difficult these guys were when they were kindergartners. And kindergartners are pretty rambunctious, jumping off the wall a lot of times, but it always surprised me because I didn't know you guys then, and you guys seemed like a pretty low-level group. Like, it just seemed like you guys were pretty easy to deal with and all that, but then she's like, oh my gosh, when they were in kindergarten. So
all the way up until probably middle school, we had a lot of kids, and granted I fed into that too, but we were kind of an interesting group in the fact that we all graduated and now are all doing very successful.
Yeah, they were pretty successful. You guys were a fun group for sure. So, and yeah, those, like I said, those teachers that you mentioned, a lot of them have retired, and we were actually talking before we started recording here about how you probably wouldn't know a lot of the teachers here in Benton anymore, but I would say our elementary staff right now is very similar to those guys because I've been through both sets now. I was through that set for about 5 years, my time here, and then we had some teachers come in and go, and we kind of cycled through a couple people here and there, and now this group that we seem to have is, I think, a lot like that group, just newer teachers and things like that, but they're very similar, like discipline-wise, but also just the way that they teach and things like that.
The old teachers, and I can't speak for the ones that are here now, but they would always leave like a foundation. They'd be like, here's like set values that you have to have. They were always big on like, here's the right thing, and this is how you do it. And it went from one classroom to the next. It wasn't like this teacher had a different opinion on this. Yeah. They all were like really close to each other, so they all
worked well together.
Yeah,
so,
they did.
And then just I probably want to interview some of your brothers too, because they're all pretty good too. But just catching up with them, because people that might be listening, who knows if anybody listens to this, but they might know them too. So let's see, your oldest brother Kevin, where's he at these days?
So Kevin lives in Lodi. He's got two little boys. One's 2 and the other one's 1. He works full time for the state of Wisconsin, the National Guard. He's a Black Hawk pilot. He works full time as a training officer for their unit. Yeah. And then his wife Tracy is an HR manager for a business that I don't know off the top.
Benton grad also though,
right?
It's
Benton grad as well. So she was Tracy Bush.
Yep.
Her and Kevin went to high school together. They're in the same class, graduated in 2010.
We'll get there. And then and then Brett.
Yep.
Brett is where?
So George Brett. Yeah, everyone knows him as Brett here, and everyone past high school knows him as George.
Yeah.
So Brett is down in North Carolina, just outside of Fort Bragg in Fayetteville. He's got a daughter and a baby boy that's not a year yet, and then his daughter's just turned 2, and then his wife Emma, who is also a Benton grad, they went to high school together and graduated in 2012.
Yeah, and he's in the Guard as well.
No, he's active duty.
Oh, he's active duty.
So he's an active duty physical therapist for the 82nd.
Okay, yep.
So went to PT school down in San Antonio.
Yep, and then Aaron is still at Northwestern, I believe.
Correct. He graduates this June.
And he's an engineering major.
Mechanical engineering.
Still want to build roller coasters?
He does. He's interested, but he's also figured out how like small the niche is.
Yeah.
So because he took like 3 or 4 German classes.
Sure.
And to bounce off of what my parents did when they're in the Army, my mom was a German linguist.
Oh, okay.
So when she joined out of high school, like not to age her, but the late 80s, early 90s, she went and learned German for 9 months.
Yeah.
So she hasn't used it in the last 20 years, but my younger brother Aaron started taking some classes here in high school to learn German, and then continued on in college. And he's been over to Germany a couple times now, but he actually was really interested in working for like automotive companies.
Well, yeah. Okay.
And,
a lot of German car makers and things like that.
And then we had a foreign exchange student that lived with my parents before I was born, that actually also graduated went through here back in 1997. It was Volker Hera. Can't pronounce his last name, but everyone here knows him as Marcus.
Okay.
He graduated in 97. He's got some good stories about being here too.
Sure.
But he would go over and visit because Volker lives in Munich.
Okay.
So he went over and visited him a few times. But Aaron didn't get a job over in Germany. We thought he would right away after he graduated, but he just got to accept a job offer in North Dakota.
You got a Northwestern degree. That goes a long way. So, but then, and I was laughing because a couple weeks ago on April 1st, April Fool's Day, I put up a post on the school Instagram and stuff that our new piece of recess equipment next year was going to be a full-fledged roller coaster. And I noticed Aaron liked it. It popped up on my phone. Aaron Pulvermacher just liked this post, and I thought that was really funny because he always wanted to build roller coasters and stuff like that.
Him and one of his roommates actually started a roller coaster enthusiast club.
Oh, really?
They started the club at
That's
Northwestern,
awesome.
So they were co-presidents and started the club there.
Yeah.
They have like 10, 15 kids in which for that specific thing, to have that many kids, it was awesome.
And I just wanted to cycle back for people that don't know. He mentioned that Kyle mentioned that Aaron took some German classes while here in Benton. We don't have a German teacher, but we do have a cool little system here where kids can take some pretty awesome online courses. And basically it works as they go and they have like a study hall time for it, and then they can focus on that class, and it's all online. And so, I remember Aaron taking he took like 3 or 4 online classes.
I took German as well.
Did you? Yeah. So, and then I wanted to go also back to, you were talking about your brothers and their wives all being graduates from Benton, and then you're engaged now to a Benton girl as well.
Correct.
To a Benton graduate, I should say. So, and that is Paige Murphy.
Yep.
And what's she up to these days?
So she graduated the year after me, so 2017, and started school at Clark University for athletic training. Did track and field there. She was a sprinter and long jumper. Had a really successful few years there.
Yep.
Jumping, definitely improved. And then she is in her second year of PT school, so she'll graduate next spring, and then I just started my master's.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, and then and I mentioned your parents. They're off in DC right now, I believe. I got to be present at your dad's ceremony where he was promoted, and then I was taking pictures, and it was probably one of the coolest ceremonies. I'm not even just saying that because you're sitting here. Yeah. It was one of the coolest ceremonies I've ever gotten to be a part of or see, because it was just there were like these really just high up people, and it was like they were all like, and it was just a very respectful event, and it was just a very cool event, and
definitely one of the cool things I've ever met.
It was really cool, and and so they're off in DC right now. He's working at the Pentagon, and I think your mom's still
not the Pentagon. He works at the National Guard.
Okay,
so down the street from the Pentagon.
Sure.
Luckily for him, he doesn't have to go to the Pentagon.
Yeah, and then your mom still teaches online,
Correct.
I believe,
she
right?
She teaches through UW Platteville for an engineering master's program, and then at Southwest Tech for a couple programs.
Yeah. Alrighty. Well, I don't have anything else for you, Kyle. Thanks for sitting down with me. Like I said, I wanted to be somebody that I was familiar with, so that way we could, bounce off of each other a little bit with some past stories. But yeah, thank you, and good luck with everything else.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.